guys, welcome back. I believe this is part 4 of the pole position. We are going to work on this front panel. I want to get these fiberglass areas that are now dried, sand those down with some 80 grit, and then sand down the rest of it as well. And then we're going to do a little bit of body work to it, and then it'll be ready for me to flip it to the other side, which I'm going to do off the camera, and then we'll come back and primer it later on today. So this feels really stiff now. I don't see anything wiggling around. Let me grab my mask and we'll sand this down. Plug in my air hose. All right, got some 80 grit on here. Okay, I'm gonna get the rest of this sanded down, then I'll come back and we'll get some filler on it. This is working out really well. Somebody had put some Bondo here because a piece of the laminate had gotten ripped off, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I like to span over the joint just to hide it better, but it's fine. It's not gonna hurt anything. So let me get this sanded down and I'll be back and we'll get some filler on. Okay, I've gotten it all sanded down real good. Now, I have 4 holes where there were lock bars. So I cut some dowel rods. This is the closest one I had to the size hole. It's a little bit bigger than the hole. So we're gonna see if we can find a drill bit and drill it to the size that we need. And believe it or not, I have no carpenter's glue here to glue them in. So we're going to use Bondo to hold them in. It'll work just as good. And it looks like this is not the right size. This is a 3/8. So it looks like this. Okay, I had to take a phone call real quick. This dowel rod looks like it's a 7/16. So I had to get my other drill bit set here and see if I have a 7/16, which I do right here. I think that's it. Let's try drilling a hole and see what happens. Oh boy. And of course I lost one. Yep, that's gonna be a nice tight fit. So that'll work out good. Between it being a real tight fit and the Bondo, should be just fine. You could fill those in with Bondo, the whole hole. Problem is a lot of times when you do that, it ends up showing up the hole in the future. So by putting the wooden dowels in there, that seems to stop that from happening. See if I can grab this one. All right. Okay, so let me mix up some Bondo because I want to put it on these areas all around here. We're going to put those dowel rods in with it as well. Leave the hammer here in case I need it. So let me get some Bondo mixed up. I'll be right back. Okay, let's get this Bondo mixed up here. Body filler, Bondo, whatever you want to call it. This is just a different brand. That's why it's going to be blue instead of green. I used up the rest of that other brand on the other side yesterday. I did clean my mixing boards. And this will hold them. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, now we can spread it over those areas that we need to cover. And then once we sand these down, we'll spread more filler over top of those areas as well. There goes our Frankenstein stitches that we made yesterday. I might end up putting a coat almost on this whole entire front just to make sure that it's nice and flat. I noticed like around the speaker, it was a little ramped up. And yes, you can put Bondo over top of laminate as long as you sand it with like 80 grit like I did. All right, I'm not going to mix up any more for this coat. We got the heavy areas. Let that dry. We'll come back, get it sanded down, and put the last coat on. Okay, while this filler is drying, I wanted to let you know that the side art and the control panel overlay came in from Arcade Shop yesterday. So I've got that here. So once it's all painted and ready to go, we can put the side art on. We got to do the control panel still, obviously. I was going to order the screen bezel from Phoenix Arcade, but I was trying to get a pole position 2 screen bezel. I had found a couple, and the guy was literally going to give them to me, but he's like 6 hours away. So it was like 12 hours of driving. So he went up to UPS to see about shipping me a couple screen bezels and a couple marquees, glass ones. And UPS wanted $340 to ship it. So I told him, don't worry about it. I appreciated the offer, but I wasn't going to spend $340 on some couple marquees and screen bezels. So I'm going to end up having to order one from Phoenix Arcade, and we'll just keep the cabinet original pole position. I'll let him know that, which I don't think that's a bad idea because he is considering getting an original board as well. So, you know, might as well just leave it as what it was, and putting a pole position 2 board in here is not really a big deal. So, all right, I'll be back in a little bit to sand this down. Okay, this is dried. This has actually been setting for a couple hours because I had talked about doing a Miss Pac-Man cabinet that's going to be turned into a multi-cade that's going into a bar for my buddy. So that got dropped off today. So I spent a little bit of time just stripping off the artwork and the T-molding and the control panel and stuff like that, just so I can get it ready to start doing body work on it. So I could paint it real quick, and then it's just getting wrapped with vinyl artwork, Miss Pac-Man. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy. It's gonna go, like I said, it's going into a bar. It's gonna, so that it can be easy to fix if it gets damaged. It was originally a Pac-Man cabinet. Somebody painted it blue. It had a Versus system in it, I guess, at one point, a Nintendo Versus system. But anyways, that's just something I'm gonna be doing on the side. Don't really think I'm gonna video that or anything like that. Maybe I'll do a video of installing the artwork or something. I'm not sure yet. So let me get my mask, and we're gonna get this sanded down so I can get another coat on. Keep unplugging the hose to blow things off, and I forget to plug it back in. All right. I'm gonna sand the rest of this, put another coat on, and then I'll be back. Okay, this is where I'm at so far. Front's done. Side is just about done. I found a couple little spots I'm touching up, and got a little bit on the back on the bottom here, and then I'll be able to stand this up, which I'll finish this up tomorrow. This video won't come out until tomorrow. I want to fix a couple spots on the top. And then I'll get it stood up and we will get this primered. And I'm also going to primer the Pac-Man cabinet at the same time tomorrow, just so that I can get a jump on that and get that ready for paint. And then I can put the artwork on that and get this out of here. So I will finish this tomorrow, guys. I will see you later. All right, guys, it's the next day. I spent some time this morning. I got the Pac-Man bodywork finished up on that. All the bodywork's done on the pole position. Getting ready to move it into the spray booth so that I can put primer on it. It's looking real good. Front's looking good. Everything's ready for a nice 3 coats of primer. I'm only gonna put 2 on this because this is getting, we're gonna vinyl wrap it. We're trying to do this on the cheap. 2 coats will be plenty. This is a nice plywood cabinet. We don't have any particle board to deal with. So I'm gonna get this set up. I'm gonna be spraying both cabinets at the same time, but I'm not really gonna focus on the Pac-Man. I'm just gonna do a video on me putting primer on the pole position. And then later on today, there's gonna be another video coming out for the Paperboy, which is sitting in the spray booth. This is going to get sanded down and reprimered later on today. So I will be back in a little bit and we'll get the primer done on the pole position. Okay, I have the pole position and the Pac-Man in the spray booth. I'm heating it up right now. I'm gonna mix up some primer. I repeat this a lot, you know, when I'm primering cabinets and stuff. And the reason being that, like, I'll keep showing you what primer I use, mixing it and stuff like that, is because if somebody doesn't watch all my videos, but they happen to watch this one and they wanted to learn, then they'll see it. So I guess it kind of sucks to keep repeating myself and keep doing the same things over and over, but hopefully, you know, it'll help somebody out that maybe doesn't watch all the videos, but happens to catch this video and wanted to know about it. So I use these paint sticks over and over. I don't throw them away until I have to. So this is going to be our primer for both cabinets. Once again, it's a 4 to 1 to 10% mix. I'll show you all the products I'll be using. We're going to get a couple coats on there, and then I'm going to end this video on the pole position. And then later on tonight or tomorrow, depending, I'll have a video up on, probably tonight, I'll have a video up on the Paperboy. We're going to sand that down with 180 grit, and then we're going to bring it back in the spray booth and put 2 coats of primer on it, just to seal it up, make sure everything's good. I want that cabinet to be perfect, just like the pole position. So I'm going to go over it one more time with primer. Pole position might not need a second primering because it is in such good shape. I think it's going to be pretty good after these 3 coats go on. So what we're using here is a 2K filler primer. This handle's in the way, but it's a 2K urethane primer from Summit Racing. You can get this gallon of gray. You can get it, I believe, in buff color and in black. So you get a gallon of primer with a hardener is around $100. And then you'll want to get some reducer, which a gallon of reducer I think is like 40 bucks. So probably about $140 for this whole kit. And you'll get probably 3 to 4 cabinets out of a gallon of this. So if you think about it, 140 divided by 4, you know, if you get 4 cabinets, it's really not that much money. Especially if you're going out there and you're buying spray cans of paint. I don't know if anybody's bought any in a while, but you know, $8 to $12 for a can of spray paint is ridiculous to me. You're better off buying this stuff, going to Harbor Freight, buying a cheap $20 spray gun and doing it that way. It's pretty sad that you can go the more professional route and be cheaper nowadays than a spray can. When spray cans used to be $5 a piece, you know, $3 you can get some cheap ones for $5, and now they're, you know, $7.99 to $15 for a can of spray paint. It's stupid. So luckily I've always done this way, so it didn't really matter much for me. But we're going to go ahead and get this filled up. I'm going to take it to the top of the number 4, which is as high as this cup goes. I stirred it for about 15 minutes beforehand. Now obviously you're not going to have a stirring machine like I do, so you just take a paint stick and you sit there and you stir it, you stir it, you stir it, because what happens with this stuff is like the liquid binding material for this. It'll end up sitting on the surface if you don't use it for a while. All the high solids will sit at the bottom, and it'll be really stiff, and you just got to keep mixing it around until it softens up. It's probably going to take 5 minutes or so with the stick. So I went right above my 4 on here. Do the same thing on here. Now you don't have to use, obviously, these sleeves and stuff like this. I use it because I use it all the time, and it saves me on material waste and stuff. So you can buy these mixing cups. You can get them at Summit Racing if you want. You can get them on eBay, you can get them on Amazon. This has all your mixing ratios for all the different style paints, primers that you're going to use. So you can get this, you can mix in there, you can rinse these out with paint thinner, lacquer thinner rather, sorry, and reuse them, or you can throw them away. It just depends on what you want to do. I don't use these cups very often. I do use a PPG cup every now and then because it has a certain mixing formula on here that I need for a few projects for painting cars than these cheaper ones do. So I keep a couple around when it comes to that stuff. So all right, I'm gonna get this mixed up, and we're gonna go out there and start putting primer on that cabinet. I'm not gonna show all 3 coats of me primering it. I'll probably just show you the first coat, and then after I'm done with the 3rd coat, I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, both cabinets are sprayed. They are drying. I have the heat going in here. Got a little run there because I found an imperfection, so I put a bunch of extra primer right there. But it's drying. That'll end this video. I think this is part 4 of the pole position, but I'm not positive. Like I said, I should have a paperboy up tonight on me sanding down the paperboy cabinet and reprimering it. And then I don't know if I'll paint tomorrow or not the cabinets. I'm not undecided yet. Probably won't. Maybe Monday or Tuesday night, maybe I'll paint that stuff. So all right guys, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it, and I will see you guys later.